I'm Tracy, and they tell me that I'm the mentor, but some days I'm not so sure.
Hi, I'm Priscilla, and I'm a fourth-year mentee.
So for the last year that we've worked together, I've tried to challenge Priscilla to really harness her powerful voice in her writing.
And I've tried to challenge Tracy to use her voice to perform her own words.
So in many ways, we're both breaking through tonight.
By reading pieces that both reflect us as individual writers and as a powerful prose pair.
And I held that note as long as my 9-year-old lungs could hold it, which really just sealed my fate as a middle school loser forever. You see, everyone but me knew that I was a terrible singer, and it wasn't that they didn't drop any hints. When I tried out for the Singing Spider in Charlotte's Web, they cast me as the goose. When I tried out for Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, they cast me as a munchkin. And when I tried out for the role of Snow White, which, let's be honest, was the role this pasty white skin was born to play, they cast me as the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, which isn't even the same play, much less a Disney princess. Even my own parents, who really indulged my every whim, even they wouldn't hire the vocal coach who promised he could get me on Star Search. Now, for the young people in the room, Star Search is like America's Got Talent in the 80s, with the guy who used to deliver those publisher clearinghouse checks. Now, if that reference doesn't catch you, let me put it this way. Star Search is where a young singer by the name of Beyonce Knowles was found. So thanks for nothing, Mom and Dad. What they did get me was a karaoke machine and a tape of 90s hits, known back then only as hits. And that's how I ended up on the stage belting out Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You in front of the entire school who looked on in horror. Now, I would get my most honest review yet from aspiring mean girl Jessica in homeroom, and she would say, "Tracy, never have I ever heard someone sing so confidently and so out of tune." So that would effectively kill my young singing career, though I would do a slight comeback tour in my early 20s after a series of breakups at the local karaoke bar, singing Alanis Morissette's You Oughta Know. Now, you ought to know that that did not inspire other men to try to date me. But eventually, I would try to find a career that offered something more in line with my talents, and also plenty of opportunities for public humiliation as well, becoming a writer here in New York. But sometimes, if you walk past my office, put an ear to the door, that's creepy, don't do that, come in. You might hear me humming some lines from the B-52's Love Shack, because while some dreams start wildly tone deaf, that doesn't mean they ever fall flat.
All right. Coming up taller. 4 inches I grew 4 years before, and after that they said I wouldn't grow anymore, which is their attempt to ground me while I try to soar, which is their way of telling me I'm closer to the floor than ever before. I've hit my inches. I've hit my inches. And while I've grown accustomed to the 18th floor, and until that moment I've straightened out the curling tendrils in my back and never turned my back to anyone. My shoulders stood as 2 soldiers bound to the side of head. Instead of wilting to the ground, I'd like to say that I'd grown an inch in that way. I've grown accustomed to the 18th floor. One Saturday a month, it's formed my core. A community of women opening their arms out wide. They provide encouraging thoughts and nourishing words, acting as a guide to wide-eyed me. She was my mentor. 1. It was the first year. It was the year I was all ears. It was the year I was full of fears, the year I spent tracing the subway map, getting lost and venturing into the unknown, only to find my way back home. My North Star was the Empire State, and my compass was my gut, telling me what's what. The subway took me to the moon and back, to a haboon and back, and in the hallowed church, my words barreled down a nave for the first time. 2. The East met the West, and her smile brought in the sunshine from California, and I brought the growing pains of skyscrapers. She was like me, and I like her. and we understood what it meant to tame our manes. 3. Her life was music, and she imbued me with a rhythm, a beat to carry my words along, one that fit the spoken song. I have a voice. Lincoln Center heard me, and the whole world listened. I had found my direction. 4. We bonded over the words of the great JFK and the words that he was given to say by another writer who, much like she was, garners for another's applause, but her words could move, shake, and rumble under the breath of another one's mumble. She helped me tell my story, and I helped other girls tell their story, and it's been this one continuous cycle of glory for expression. GWN has been my sisterhood of the traveling pens, has been a place to grow. By working a lot harder, by being a self-starter, by going so much farther, I'm coming up taller.